Hi, this is Susan Hamilton, and you've joined the Offbeat Business Show. I am so glad to have an opportunity to visit with you today. Thanks for sharing your lunch with me and with my wonderful guest. You know, all January I am showing and showcasing some businesses that can really help you get the right perspective for your business this year and get your head around some strategies that you can start early on and some maintenance we can start early on to really do a fine job of communicating with our audiences. And I have for you today the CEO of SEO, John Nosal. And I had the pleasure of working with John. John, say hi.
Hi, Susan. Thanks for having me out here today.
Wonderful. I tell you what, I worked with John, I believe over November, the end of November, and maybe the early of December, and you know, I know some SEO. You know, I know the content, social side of SEO. Got some website experience, and I understand navigation, and I understand these things. But when I hired John to help me with a project, it opened my eyes to some things that I knew and yet had really put on the back burner as not so important. And in reality, they're hugely important, and I felt like the smartest thing that you could do is to hear this conversation, because, guys, we're still confused about SEO, aren't we, John?
Well, so SEO is a really interesting industry. I mean, it's still in its infancy, really, because, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, there weren't a lot of people talking about it. Sure. Marketing agencies weren't talking about optimizing a website to be found on Google, which is what SEO means. You know what it ultimately means.
Say that again, yeah.
And so, you know, being able to get out there and have your business or your mom and pop shop, your bigger business, and all of those guys being found literally on page 1, page 2, because we all have gone out and done a search on Google, and we know that we don't generally go to page 2.
True enough. But, there is no number 1 on Google search, and there's a lot of deception when it comes to marketing.
Right.
That a lot of business owners get those phone calls, and they say, hey, or emails. You know that's something. They're getting the emails like crazy.
Yeah. We won't talk about emails.
Let me get you to the number 1. And it's so ridiculous because, friends, SEO at its optimum should be bringing you business that wants you.
Right.
Bringing you business, it should be a helpful pre-screener that helps somebody use their website as an effective tool to decide once they talk to you, they pretty much are sure that you're the business for them. It should save you a lot of time to have an effective SEO strategy with your website. But what good is your phone ringing all the time for people that really aren't interested in you? And a lot of times, using the wrong tactics, that is exactly what can happen. And we've got to. So, what I wanted to bring to their attention, John, is some of the stuff we were talking about, because they don't need to feel preyed upon, and I think often they do. And not really understanding this area, they don't want to ask those questions. And man, if we can just make them ask a question, just ask it.
Well, think about back between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Mm-hmm. We had all of our email boxes were exploding with all of these great offers for this discount on these gift cards from this retailer, mm-hmm. and all of that stuff. So we're just inundated with marketing and things like that. And one of the neat things that Google is doing for us is they're taking all of the search algorithms, all of these the magical ratio that they're doing to help us to find the information that we're looking for. They're trying to make it relevant to not only our location, but intelligently specific to what we're looking for, so that when we do a search, we find exactly what we're looking for and not, get offered 1,000 options that are totally not relevant to us. So the trick is that we've got to make sure that when we're looking at our websites that we're providing the right information so that Google can make the assumption of what we really do.
And it's all data-driven.
And it's all data-driven.
That's what they want. They want your data. And you wonder, now listen, guys, you're going to hear a lot of talk, and I just want to just cut through the clutter here. They want that data primarily because those AdWords are based on that data. And that's not bad. It just is what it is. And we just have to use some wisdom and understanding how to do it and why it matters. So, friends, if you're not giving them any data, why would they search you?
Right. That's the case.
Yeah.
So a great example of this, I was working on a project back in December for a client that literally had like 20 words on his homepage. And so when you can think of it this way, if Google goes out and reads that homepage with just 20 words there, there's not enough content there for them to really know what the business is about. We're not highlighting their big 3 areas that they focus on. What are the big 3 services or the products that they offer for their business? And so being able to get in and really make sure that it really gets back to almost your branding of what you're trying to say about your business.
I love how you said that. That's branding, how you want to say what you want to say about your business, because the audience is going to determine your brand. Your customers determine your brand. That is their perception of you.
Right.
But you've got an element here to be a partner with that. You've got a kind of a responsibility to make sure what you're putting out is what they're looking for anyway. And it kind of boils down to being this really great listener.
Yeah, and I love it. At a conference I was at last year, one of the big takeaway quotes that I had, one of the presenters gave was, would you go out and read your own website?
Do you know how many people that I've worked with over the years that
don't do it?
That's so huge. I'm so glad you said that. Not only do they not do it, but typically what I see, without using their website as an adequate tool, you've got every level of management or the technicians on the field or the person receptionist answering that phone, and they don't know the content on the website, and they don't know how they could be using it as a resource to send people back to or to teach them more about why they're the perfect business for them. Whoa, if they don't know that, you're skipping a beat, because, guys, you could do SEO great, you could do everything great, and if they call you and you can't seal the deal, we still got another problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of fun to get them to stop and think about that.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I find is really fun is to find a third party that doesn't know what your business is, to have them sit down and look through your website and see if they can figure it out.
That's really good advice, John.
Think about this. In our fast-paced, smartphone, internet-crazed lifestyle that we have now, we pick up our phones and we're, doing a quick search on it to find where we want to go for dinner. And if we're not finding what we're looking for in 10 seconds, we're off to the next thing. So we've got to think about, when we're looking at our websites, is our message clearly conveyed in that 10 seconds?
Yeah.
To make sure that, y'all are I don't know, pick any topic.
Right.
Pick any topic.
What is it that you are? Right.
Are you the copywriter? Are you the SEO person? Are you a social media person? Whatever it might be, can we clearly understand what you do in that 10 seconds when we look at a website?
And it can also make all the difference, John, if you're looking for if you're fence, if you're a plumbing company. Back in the old days, we used to open up the yellow pages and you'd have 3 or 4 bolded names, and you would go back and immediately look and see if there was more information, because that's really what they want. And your website today is that. It's very much a resource for somebody to find out more about you. Guys, you got to look different than everybody else. If you look the same as everybody else, you haven't really done that job of conveying who you are to your audience.
Right.
And, SEO helps people understand that. And when we get back, friends, I hope you're enjoying this conversation as much as I am, because every time I talk with John, it's just very enjoyable. It's really great to work with people that are so knowledgeable in these areas. And I got to tell you, when we come back, I'm going to talk to John about one of the things that I see most overlooked, and we're going to share this with you as our biggest tip in SEO going forward, that, in my opinion, was something that I had overlooked shamefully, I must say. And I'm so grateful to be back on the right track, and I want you back on the right track so you can really kick some butt this year. So this is Susan Hamilton, and I'm talking to John Nosal of Nosal Central, and we'll be back. This is the Offbeat Business Show.
Hi, I'm Julie Schrell, and I'm president of Be the Difference Foundation. Our mission is to be the difference in the fight against ovarian cancer. Won't you join us by riding in our event, Wheel to Survive, on February 22nd? Make a donation, be a sponsor, volunteer, and help us fight ovarian cancer today for the people that we love and care about. In our lifetime, we can be the difference.
Hi, have you heard of Zeal? Zeal Superfoods. Whole food nutrition, vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, phytonutrients, adaptogens, and prebiotics, all in one daily dose. Zeal Superfood is the equivalence of taking 55 supplements a day. Zeal Superfood is easy. You just add water and shake, and there you have it. So you should give it a try. HealthyBohemian.com can give you answers to all of your wellness needs. You'll be glad you discovered it. Thanks.
Yes, I am.
And we're back. This is Susan Hamilton, and this is the Offbeat Business Show. And I'm talking to John Nosal, the SEO, or the CEO of SEO. And he's helping us understand some very simple things that we really need to wrap our head around if we're going to do a great job with our website this year. Because as we mentioned in the first part of this show, wow, if that website can be working for you. I used to do a presentation there's 11 things your website ought to be doing for you. There really is. It's a much more full-featured tool than just an address online.
Exactly. So I think, one of the big things that people have to first kind of think about when they're thinking about their website is, what do they want it to say? Is it going to be just an informational thing to where they can come out and get product information, how-to tips on their products, or is it going to be the full-fledged, inbound marketing, driving sales, all of that type of things? So there's clear differences that we can look at in regards to that. But most importantly, it's what does the website say, as we were talking about in the first segment. Getting down to making sure that we're really saying the right things. Or I like to think of it this way. We're going to be taking them on a digital journey of our business. We're going to be bringing them into the homepage or the front door, the lobby, the receptionist of our business. So is that receptionist really saying what our business is about and giving a good first impression?
Well, and that's if they're finding you on search. If they're finding you through all the social media avenues and all the resources that you're sharing, a lot of times they're going to find you on your landing page. And then you've got copy to consider, and how does it connect with the rest of your website to really have that cohesive message. So, John, one of the things that I wanted you to share with our audience today was something that I had begun to overlook as my business really kind of ventured a different direction. But those images, doggone it, those images are so important. And friends, I want you to know that your website, and I believe John agrees with me, you need to be able to convey that you're an advocate for your ideal client out there. They need to know you got their back.
Right.
And so giving them that ease of direction, helping them that clarity, that really helps them do that. They don't have to wonder about you. They really see it all right there. Those images on your website can tell so much more. And when you're loading images in, it's easy to forget some very simple things that are damaging if we forget them.
We've all been out on Google and done a search for, I love to use the example of cute kittens. I mean, go out to Google Images and do a search for cute kittens. There's going to be, 10 million images that show up. And amazingly, they're all cute kittens. There's not puppy dogs. There's not, kids playing with, toy trucks in the sandbox and stuff. It's all cute kittens. Well, we've got to think about what's actually going on with that. Those images are all named something about cute kittens. Literally the file name of that image. It's not what's come out of our camera or our phone or whatever. It's not using that DSC0147.jpg. It's literally been renamed to be cute kittens. So when we're thinking about the images on our website, we want to make sure that we're really going through and optimizing those. What are the products and services that we offer? So we need to think about those keywords when we're naming those images. Name them something associated to what our business is, so that whenever somebody's looking for that product or service, that those images are also helping to increase the relevance of that search.
I love that. I think that's so important, and there's another aspect to it also is that brand familiarity. As those images are out there, as many, what's the number? Something like 60% of people really look at your brand more favorably when they see it more frequently, the more they're exposed to it.
Exactly.
So that brings in the importance of promotional products like pens and mugs and everything else. Those things do matter. They're part of our, they're part of our brand identity. Mm-hmm. But then so is your website in that same way. All of these things and your social media strategy, friends, that all pulls together to help a business owner or to help a searcher really understand what it is that you offer, and they need to see you. I call it the Iziat. I see you out there. They got to see you everywhere. And I had been overlooking images, and I promise you that after this show airs, that will no longer be the case. It's a lot of work to go back and do that right. But I wanted to encourage you in January to really take John's advice here, friends, and help us understand. John, will you just break it down a little more about how a person can do this, what it exactly means? Because you have an opportunity now in January to get your very cohesive, consistent message out to your audience, to your ideal customer, friends. Your ideal customer, bring in the business that wants you, they're searching for you. Man, you need to be out there going, hey, I'm right here, and your images are part of that. John, what do you say to that? Well, how can we easily do that?
So, I mean, we all know the statement of, a picture's worth 1,000 words, right?
Right.
And so we've got to really make sure we use that. So one of the things that I'm always looking and making sure that clients are doing is to make sure that they've got at least one image on every single page of their site.
True.
An image that really helps support what the message is of that page. So if we're talking about, if we've got a service business, an IT service company or something like that, we're going to have lots of people, pictures, and, images of people helping people, different things like that.
Well, that's your hope. I do hope that that's happening. I'll tell you, there's a big difference when they don't do that, isn't there? It's
just having a picture of,
right?
a computer screen is so boring.
Right.
It's impersonal. And, in that type of an example, we're trying to really get in and relay that type of a message of we're here to help you. We are people helping people.
So that the type of images is one of the big things.
It is
really
key too.
And those smiling faces and the way they stay on the page longer if you give them something to look at. If you give them a picture.
That is true.
And where's that picture going to be shared? I mean,
and so think about when Google is actually going. Google has these robots that are running out and constantly searching the internet for new information. I mean, literally on average, your website's getting re-indexed by Google every 2 to 3 days. And so,
the more people that come, they're even
and
more.
The higher traffic you've got, and the more information that so if you're regularly putting new content out in the form of a blog or different information like that, you're always going to be getting re-indexed by Google. So we want to keep that Google. I jokingly call it the Google monster. We want to keep them fed. Think about when we were kids. We had the Cookie Monster on Sesame Street. Hopefully, we weren't going to get any copyright problems there. But hey, we had the Cookie Monster out. He was crazy about cookies. Well, Google is crazy about indexing new content. That's what they're looking for.
They got to know everything about you because that's what gives them that data that they're looking for.
And so, adding those images in there just adds it one step further. Another aspect, other than just naming the images, is also making sure that we fill out the alt tag. It's one of these little behind-the-scene things. If you're using something like WordPress or something like that, there's actually a field that you can fill out for the alternate description of that image and literally write out a sentence of what that image is about. Mm-hmm. And that also adds to the image's value for search.
That's so important. Friends, aren't these simple ways that you can really start looking at what your website's doing to make sure that we're really the best communicators that we can be with our audience? I mean, really, we've just got to take some responsibility for that as business owners, or have somebody else in the company do that for you. This can't be a neglected part of your business.
Or hire somebody to do it for you.
Hire somebody to do it for you. I'll tell you what, that's the best thing because everybody in your business is doing something that needs to be done. And we need to be doing what we're specialized in, even doing what I'm doing. I'm talking to John when I want SEO advice. This is very important to know who the resources are in your community and networking. John, I met you through networking.
Exactly.
I can't say that enough in January, friends. If you don't have the peer business associates that you have, go to some networking groups and develop some relationships and figure out who it is that you can trust with the very important things in your business that are going to help you grow. And just don't neglect this important aspect of SEO. John, how can somebody learn more about the products and the services that you offer if they want to call you and learn? They probably have some questions. And guys, if we've done our job here today, I hope that you are open to asking these questions. Don't let this intimidate you. Don't let this whole SEO, search engine optimization, freak you out. Go out and ask those questions because there isn't a dumb question. And we don't have any time to waste. We need to be making some money this year. We've got changes to make in our community. We've got people to impact. We've got lives to live, and if we do everything, if we play at that higher level, right, John? We're going to be able to do so much more, and SEO is a very valid part of that. How do they reach you?
So they can reach me. They could actually go out and Google me. John Nosal. And
are they
you'll
Googling
find
CEO of SEO?
They could Google the CEO of. See, I can't even say it. They can go out and Google. Google John Nosal, and you're going to find all kinds of information. Mm-hmm. You'll find all my profiles on all the social media channels and all of that. But more importantly, go out to nosalcentral.com. That's NOSAL Central.com. And I've got lots of great information out there about what I provide in regards to services. I've got a blog that I'm providing a lot of information, and I'm actually going to be working here in the next few days on some tips and tricks on using Google Analytics to really understand who your audience is. so that you can make sure that you are messaging and talking to your audience. Because if you're talking about baseball and you have football fans that are coming to your website, you're missing the audience. So
you really are. And so what if your phone rings all the time, right? That didn't really help you. And how many times have
that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, but you want to be able to help everybody in some way. If you know who's coming to your website, you'll know what you can give them, and what those can tend to be your free resources. And you make sure you're giving them something, and they
Definitely.
keep bringing, and that traffic's going to help bring those people in. But if you're using those images, you're going to be sharing them on social media, friends. That stuff's going to come up, and it's going to be associated with you.
Always a good step.
Thing. That is brilliant. John, thank you so much for your time. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much for your friendship and your just being a business colleague of mine. I appreciate that so much.
Glad to come out today, Susan.
That's great. Friends, you can learn more about this if you didn't take a pen, if you didn't have a pen with you over lunch today. I want you to go back to offbeatbusiness.com and check out the replay of this audio and learn more about what John's offering at nosalcentral.com. So go to offbeatbusiness.com for all the upcoming shows. We've just got an all-star cast lined up for you. Also, check out the magazine and make sure you sign up for the magazine. The contributors that are coming to you through the Offbeat Business magazine are phenomenal, and
Awesome.
They're supporting your business lifestyle, friends. And that's what we want to do. We want to empower you to really make that money in business, not for no reason at all, not just to make Friday, but have that time to get involved in your community, have that time to enjoy your family, have that time to take some time off and have a conversation and learn who your peers are, learn who you can network with, and all those things are what it really takes to grow a successful, lucrative business. And friends, that's what we want for you. So thank you for your time today. You enjoy the rest of your lunch. This is Susan Hamilton with John Nosal, the Offbeat Business Show.